Greetings, I'm your host, Dr. Wolfula, and when I'm not coming to get you, Barbara, I'm here at the Wolfie Lair watching movies. Oh yeah, did you know that the Wolfie Lair has a drive-in theater next to it? Little trivia, it was run down, so I patched it up and got rid of all the prostitutes and intravenous drug users. It still needs some work, but bear with me while I put it through its paces on its maiden voyage tonight. Great George Romero by watching his only public domain movies so I don't wind up getting sued. That film is Night of the Living Dead, the flick that launched his long career and pretty much launched the zombie subgenre, you know? If you haven't seen it by now, what's wrong with you? It's like available on every fucking format. It's available for free even. You can get it for fucking free, but I guess you're gonna watch it with me tonight, so let's get started. First, I'm gonna cut away and get some driving done. Oh, I'm in my theater. Look at it. Isn't it fucking fabulous? Make sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Though you probably are already following me on YouTube, but let's get the movie started, shall we? Alrighty, let's get close in. Let's get really cozy. I honestly find it so funny how this movie actually begins. It begins with this, just a road. Just a fucking road, and it has this really sinister music behind it. But it's just a road. Like honestly, if this movie was made today, there would be like a zombie sort of walking in the corner that the car eventually passes by, just to sort of set something up. But it's just B-roll of a road and the car carrying the main characters just driving by. It's honestly a pretty dull opening, but it's at the same time it's iconic because you just see it all the time, especially with that title. But it's just so. I honestly can't imagine the composer was like, wait, so this is the opening shot. It's a road and then the car drives by. I don't know. It seemed kind of a strange choice. It doesn't grab people, but I don't know. It ended up becoming like this huge. I mean, it's a great film. Let's not beat around the bush here. It's a great fucking film. Like it has aged well. It has so many fucking. It's got so many things that are still used today. Like it pretty much. Most zombie movies are just sort of. They take the basic structure of this movie and they just maybe change the setting and the characters and stuff. But it's usually the same thing. It's a group of disparate survivors that have to sort of work together, but there's tension between them and they end up just falling apart because of this zombie apocalypse. Like, it's this thing that's just always fucking done in zombie movies, usually. And it's what works to me in a zombie movie. If it doesn't have that, then it just ends up not being as, like, compelling, you know? And actually, I just realized maybe I need to adjust the screen a bit, because I think some parts are getting cropped out. Let's see what I can do. Yeah, that's not good. Let's fix that. Fix that on the old projector. Sorry about that, folks. We're still ironing out all the little design flaws with this.
A lot of good the extra daylight does us.
But here are kind of our main characters, but not really. Honestly, yeah, these are not the main characters, but we follow them from the beginning. Like, even Johnny here, we do get to see him all the way to the end of the movie. So, you know, where's the color? Somebody in the comments said that. Guess what? No color. Color was around, but it took a long time before it became like a mainstream thing across even indie productions. Like, indie films, like, for the longest time they had to rely on black and white because it was just so much cheaper. Color was fucking expensive. Now it's just something you can just have. Like, every fucking camera is capable of color. Like, there's no processes involved. It's just, yeah, you can have color. Like, without even having to think about it. Without even having to go to a fucking store and say, hey, can I have some color film? No, it's all digital. Yeah. Because even then, like, even when there was, like, video, like, you still had to buy, like, color video or black and white video for the longest time, even then. Now with digital, color is just, it's like, it's like default. Like, there's no reason to do black and white unless you're being very fucking pretentious. But back in the day, you had to do fucking black and white like this to cut costs. And it works for this fucking movie. Like, it adds to the creep factor. There are colorized versions of the movie, but they're not...
There's no one around.
They look really weird. But at the same time, I guess there is sort of that charm. They look kind of off. So I guess that might add to, like, a horror atmosphere, but,
There it is.
I don't know. Yeah, Barbara was better in the remake. I'm gonna go into, like, Barbara's problems later on when she really shows her true colors, but yeah, Barbara is a really, really weak character in this film, but
I wonder what happened
she
to
doesn't
the one
really
from last
need...
year.
She's not the main character. In the remake, she's definitely the main character, but in this movie, she's
Well,
kind of
the
just...
one from last year's gone.
She kind of
Well, the flowers
just
died.
is there. I don't
The
know.
caretaker
She's
or
there from the
somebody
beginning, but
chased them
she's
away.
not our protagonist. She's just
Polish
kind of
it,
there to
clean this up, sell it
fucking
next year.
scream, I guess.
Wonder how many
You
times
know,
we bought
we
this
need a
thing.
blonde lady that screams and gets scared and stuff throughout the movie. Yeah, Barbara's a bit of a bitch. She is. She's not a wholly unlikable character, but she's not someone you want around during a zombie apocalypse. She gets really fucking scared easily. She's there for sex appeal. I mean, she's a reasonably attractive woman, but it's not like she's like in a fucking overcoat. So I don't know about that. But I mean, yeah, it's understandable that they throw in a character like
Hey, I mean,
Barbara
plans
to
for church, huh?
draw in audiences with the poster and shit.
I haven't seen you in church lately.
Well,
Honestly, found
there's not much sense in my going
like
to
there's
church.
sort of this, even
Do you
from the very
remember one
beginning,
time
there's
when we were
this sort of
small around here?
anti-religion kind
It
of
was
thing
from
going
right
on
over
with this
there.
film,
I jumped
like,
out at you from behind the
or with
tree,
the
and
movies in
Grandpa
general,
got
or
all
not really
excited. He shook
anti-religion,
his
but just
fist
sort
at
of
me
like
and he
this.
said, "Boy, you be damned to
This
hell."
was a very fucking
Remember that? Right over there?
really
Well,
a
you
really
said you'd
like
be scared here.
it did like these movies always dealt with like social issues and very controversial subject matter along with the monsters, and I feel like these movies got away with it because they were dealing with zombies anyway, so it's just like it's the least of somebody's concern, where they're more concerned about the violence and shit, and they're not concerned at all about like
You're acting
the
like a
deeper
child.
meaning behind these movies, like the deeper social,
Look, there comes
like,
one of them now.
you know, the deeper social.
Here he comes now.
What am I going into? Like, just the psychology behind these movies. Like, it's not just about fucking zombies that eat people. It's about fucking, well, it is about fucking zombies that eat people. That's the main thing. But there's sort of anti-commercialism in Dawn of the Dead. Obviously, it takes place in a goddamn mall. Speaking of which, Dawn of the Dead is definitely better than this movie, at least to me, but this is still a great movie. It's the second, I'd say it's the second best George Romero zombie movie. It's sort of The Empire Strikes Back as far as Dawn of the Dead is concerned. This is the strong start of fucking Star Wars 1977, you know? That's how you can see it. And then I guess maybe Land of the Dead might be the Phantom Menace. I don't know. Let's not get by. George Romero didn't make quality content throughout his career, but that happens to fucking every filmmaker usually. There's some exceptions, but yeah, I mean, especially with horror filmmakers, you know, I don't know, it just happens. But yeah, this movie dealt with a lot of controversial subject matter socially that wasn't even intentional. I'm gonna get into that later, but for now, it's really just a kind of solid monster film where this guy fucking killed Johnny, that I didn't even discuss that, like, he just effortlessly killed this dude just by hitting him against a goddamn, what do you mean bad content, Dan the Best? I mean, I'm gonna admit, I'm gonna go off the rails here, but, you know, it's been a fucking busy year, so this is the best I can do right now. The fucking regular videos you have grown accustomed to, they take a long time to edit. So, yeah, take a long time to write and edit, so unless you want to fucking pitch in, you know, you're gonna have to deal with a little live stream of a classic horror movie like Night of the Living Dead, okay? So, Oh, he meant badass content. Okay, that's good. I'm sorry for getting off the rails. But yeah, it's like, this movie is... It really tried harder than most horror movies at the time, I'd imagine. I'd imagine most horror movies at this point were just sort of like... Let's just have... A lot of them were just like rubber monsters that attack some like teenagers at a beach. That kind of drive-in effort. But this movie, it really just tried its hardest to like have great characters and sort of like actual like suspense, tension, all that fucking like all that shit that most horror movies were lacking at the time. It was all just sci-fi shit or disposable shit that we really fucking that doesn't last beyond being shown on fucking Mystery Science Theater. But this movie decided to swing for the goddamn fences and make something that actually tried to scare people, like, on a bunch of multiple levels. Like, it's really something else, like, and there's a reason why, like, and honestly, this movie, I'd reckon this movie kicked off, like, the modern era of horror, like, totally. Like, Psycho kind of did that, but I don't know, it didn't really, because that was like that was like a Hollywood film, but this movie kicked off the modern age of horror in the sense that indie productions were getting into horror and making horror movies and just fucking making all these kinds of different horror movies that nobody had ever seen before in a way that Psycho did not accomplish. This was a low-budget, super low-budget movie, and it inspired, like, future, like, low-budget movies to also attack the drive-in market. That's why I'm in a fucking drive-in watching this. Like, this was one of the quintessential drive-in films, you know? There sure are some great characters in this movie. That's the thing that most horror movies fail to accomplish is they always go straight to 11 by the end of the first act, usually. They go straight to fucking 11, and they don't stop from there, and they burn out really quickly. But in really great horror movies, to me, you spend, like, the first act just establishing the characters, and then you go into the second act, and then you start peppering in that horror, and it builds up from there. But you to me, the first act, like, it's like in Halloween. Like, that's such a great movie, because it starts out with a murder to get you interested, but then you just sort of, you spend, like, the next 45 minutes just not seeing anybody get killed. You know? It's not... It's stuff like this that really sticks out to you. It's like, just tension building and just sort of like surprising you and building atmosphere, you know? It's not, oh wait, we need to get, people have really low I was gonna say low self-esteem, but yeah, that's true also, but people have low attention spans, so we have to fucking show them like, either we have to show them like ghosts moving shit right away, or we need to have the characters like aware that, oh, I'm in a haunted house right now, okay. Oh, I'm gonna spend the whole movie in this haunted house, even though I know it's haunted. Like, that kind of thing, you know? You don't need to show them, like, your whole fucking murder thing. No, you suck dick, Jace Time Squad 2. Fuck you. That's no way to talk to a person who runs a fucking drive-in movie theater. And yeah, good, Sarah. You better delete that message. Okay. But you know, it is slightly funny. Because they were limited as far as how many zombies they could have, so Barbara, I can understand her, like, sort of being just fucking freaked out and not wanting to go out there when she sees all these, like, weird dudes, like, descending upon this town, descending upon this house. But this part, actually, before I get to that part always, like, weirded me out. Like, I always wondered, like, where did that dead body come from? Like, did that guy, was there, like, actually a murderer that was previously in the house that just sort of left? Like, that guy is fucking dead. There's a corpse in the house, and of course, this movie was pretty groundbreaking at the time for this reason. It was the first horror movie to have a truck driver in it as one of the main characters. That had never been done before. Ben, right here, is really a revolutionary character for horror. There had never been a truck driver in such a prominent role. But anyway, like I was saying before, like, when it gets to this point, there's enough people in the house where I'd feel like there's enough space between the zombies where they could just, like, make a break for it and just run away. But then again, I don't know. To me, the slow zombies are the best zombies. The only issue with them is that you need a fucking lot of them to make them make sense. Because otherwise, they don't really make sense. You need to have a lot of CGI to clone actors, or you need to have a fucking lot of actors to make them actually work, okay? Because I love the slow zombies. Only issue is that, you know, you can't make them make sense. Because, like, you could just, like, sort of walk around them and shit. Like, they're slow, you know? I don't know. But I think Walking Dead has, like, slow zombies. I don't know. I don't watch it. I don't watch a lot of zombie things because it's not they're usually not well done, like Romero stuff. They usually totally, like, they usually make the wrong moves as far as what you should do with a zombie movie. Like, I want to see the characters, like, at each other's throats. I want to see, like, some, that human element where they're, like, fucking hating each other and shit, and there's, like, a clear human antagonist. I don't like it when it's, like, Zombieland and there's just sort of a little tension in the group, but there's no real strong antagonist. It's just, we gotta deal with zombies in general, you know? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. How can a zombie be fast? Like, they're fucking dead. It's hard enough to believe that a person can come back to life. They can't be fucking, like, sprinting around when they just came back to life, you know? You know, it's just a stretch for me, okay? And I can understand George Romero feeling the same way. Yeah, Barbara stops being a character. She just sort of starts, like, fucking shrieking and just sort of, like, trying to call the shots shit. And you're just like...
Two of them.
And you're just like, Dwayne Jones, why don't you just fucking... just throw her out of the house? Like, seriously, I don't know.
I know you're afraid, but we
I've seen this movie a few times, and most of the time when I've seen it, it was, like, on TV, because this movie is, of course, public domain, so it's just, like, I remember G4 would, like, air this movie 24 hours, like, I think 24 hours? I know they'd show it on, like, 420, I might be mistaken, but that's how I'd usually watch the film, like, a lot of the time, like, and they had this, like, Night of the Tripping Dead, I think, where it was, like, a redub of the movie, where, like, Ben was, I hope I'm getting the name right. I know it's Barbara, but I don't remember if Dwayne Jones' character is named Ben. I might be mistaken, but I just, like, Dwayne Jones' character, he's a Jerry Seinfeld impersonator, which is so fucking random. Like, I don't think anybody's seen this besides me, but it was a strange special that G4 would air. But also, you know, it's kind of entertaining. It wasn't really all that funny when I watched it again, but, you know, just a weird thing, okay? How dare I, Mike D? Are you MCA? Or, wait, no. Are you from Beastie Boys? Okay, yeah, okay, his name is Ben. Okay, I was right. Really hope... You know, I've been watching some Spider-Man stuff, so Uncle Ben, every character's name is Ben to me at this point, you know? Every character that matters, because Uncle Ben was life. Like, yeah, oh my god, like, it's pretty... That's something a lot of horror movies are sort of missing, sort of that visceral feeling, like the character, like you're actually experiencing what the character is experiencing, like where they try to get you right in there, and like right in the middle of the action, like, right, like, just, I don't know, it's, like, with the sound design especially, like, because, like, they didn't even show most of that, but you still heard it, like, it...
I know we're in here now.
They sure do, and Barbara was no help. Yeah, Barbara's never any help in this movie. That's the other thing. She's a detriment to this group of people. Like, yeah, I mean, Romero did the remake, and he really updated it where the women characters are actually somewhat proactive and helpful. Definitely proactive and helpful as far as Barbara is concerned. She has been... You know, if you're gonna watch a version of Night of the Living Dead, you know, you could watch the remake if you're not into black and white and stuff. I just feel like the remake is a little too silly, where she just becomes fucking Ellen Ripley, like, out of nowhere. It just felt like way too much of a jump to me. Like, she just needed to be a capable person. She didn't need to be fucking Rambo all of a sudden. Like, I thought it was so silly how they handled it, you know? Yeah, I know I'm talking too much, but this is fucking commentary, you know? You can watch the movie somewhere else if you just want to watch the movie. You're watching the movie for me, watching it with you, you know? And I fucking talk through movies like crazy. Like, I don't let the movies get a word in edgewise. And you're also watching this because you want to talk to me and ask me questions and shit, you know?
Get some more lights on in this house.
She can't even turn on lights. That's how fucking useless she is. Like, he spends, like, he does more shit than any of the other characters. Like, he actually tries to do shit. Like, everybody else is, like, she's not even turning on lights. She's just like, I think I'm gonna have to kill this guy. I don't know, but then again, I'm scared to kill people. Because I was kind of joking around about the truck driver thing, but this movie, it did have a black character, which was pretty groundbreaking at the time, and unintentionally, it dealt with some racial tension, shit like that, but it wasn't really intentional. The character was originally going to be a white guy, but they found Dwayne Jones was the best actor, so they gave it to him, and, you know, same dialogue and shit, but I don't know, I never was really, I'm not racist, fuck you. I was never really totally sure if they sort of changed how the actors performed based around, like, because this was around segregation time, so... But yeah, it just added that extra layer to the movie that keeps it relevant to people. Like, it was just that, it was a very shocking thing. How did the movie fall into the public domain? Well, they didn't really copyright it correctly or something. They just let it get out. I don't know. It's a very strange thing. But actually, funny thing, it's not really 100% public domain anymore. The original creators now own the merchandising rights to Night of the Living Dead. They don't own the distribution rights to the movie, though. So now they're making all their money off of merchandise, official merchandise. So I think that means that there's no longer any unofficial merchandise in circulation. So that's a good thing. At least they're making money somehow. They honestly, they tried to make some money. They tried to make some money with the remake. That's why they made the remake, because they didn't make any fucking money off the original. And, you know, George Romero, like, I think there was like a 10-year gap between Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead. And he did make some other movies. Like, he made Martin, vampire film. And that's the only other movie I can think of during that time period. Besides... There's Always Vanilla. I think that was one of the movies he did that was like a really fucking terrible movie. I don't know. But yeah, someone mentioned Savini in the comments, and yeah, Savini was a big part of Romero later on, because in this movie, the zombies are very basic. They kind of look gaunt, and they kind of look sick and shit, but they don't... I mean, they don't look, well, they look like ghouls, pretty much. They look like ghoulish people, but they don't look like the kind of zombies we're familiar with today. But then again, Dawn of the Dead had, like, the blue zombies, so it took a while before we got to a point where we had zombies that look like how we imagine zombies today. But yeah, I honestly say that this movie is a great, like, it's a great source of inspiration if you want to be a carpenter, you know? You just watch Dwayne Jones just sort of fucking hammer some nails, and you get an idea of at least how to barricade doors. Like, this movie actually established so much shit. It's insane how much it establishes. Like, barricading yourself in a house against zombies. Like, every movie follows this basic template a lot of the time, you know? At least they used to. Now they don't really make zombie movies anymore, because I feel like zombies... Because it used to be like there wasn't, like, fucking Walking Dead, so they could make, like, any kind of zombie movie. But now that Walking Dead is out, I think there's this pressure to make a high-budget zombie movie if you're going to go out of your way to make a zombie movie, to try to outdo what Walking Dead does on a TV budget. But they don't really... Movie studios don't really want to make high-budget horror movies. They want to make super low-budget horror movies between $1 million to $5 million, so they can easily make back their money like 100 times over. And that kind of sucks. It'd be nice if horror movies could get a little bit more money so we can get a little bit more variety, but what are you gonna do? Yeah, if I were to do a live stream of Universal monster movies, it would have to be, I think there's a few public domain ones, but yeah, I'm only going to be streaming public domain movies because I don't want to get sued. I don't want to get sued at all.
Truck went right across the road. Slammed on my brakes.
I mean, there's still some good horror movies coming out. Get Out was really good. It was also inspired by this movie to a certain degree as far as dealing with social issues. That was a good horror movie. And that's the only one I can think of that I saw this year, I think. Trying to think if I saw another good horror movie that came out this year. But yeah, this movie has a very limited, like, very limited point of view, because the whole movie takes place in this house, but they came up with a lot of innovative shit to try to tell a bigger story and try to get across the world outside. They did a really good job of that by, like, having the characters tell their story as they're, like, here where Ben is just talking about, like, how he got to this place. But then they show the TV footage, and they show, like, all this fucking documentary style footage of this, all, like, the world going to hell, basically, like, and fucking rednecks shooting zombies and shit, and just shooting, like, everything, like, totally non-discriminately. Like, if this happened, this would be a great, like, fucking excuse to kill someone you fucking hated, because you could just be like, oh, he was a zombie. Okay. And I feel like the ending of this movie implies that even though there's sequels, I always like the idea that this was just an isolated incident and it didn't happen across the world. It was sort of like Shaun of the Dead, where I think Shaun of the Dead just took place in England, and it was just sort of this, it happened for a little while, but then it sort of blew over, and at the end of this movie, they're just sort of destroying what's left, all the zombies, and that's how it ends. And the scary thing is more that they killed a dude without even fucking bothering to tell if he was a zombie. And not so much that, oh yeah, we live in a world populated by zombies forever.
We came to put a wreath on my father's grave.
Oh, that's cool. They put Dwayne Jones' name in Walking Dead. I always felt like I really wish he didn't die as soon as he did. I wish he didn't die in the fucking, I believe he died in the 90s. you know, he would be
We didn't
huge,
have
like, because he was such a good actor in this fucking movie, but it was just during this time period where you just couldn't be a fucking black dude in movies and have like a substantial career beyond B movies. So unfortunately, his career didn't really take off. So
And he said,
all we really
"Oh,
have
it's
as
late.
far as like a quality
Why
movie
did
that
you
I'm
start
aware
so
of at
late?"
least is this movie.
And I said,
And he dies in this
"John,
fucking movie. Spoiler
you
alert. So
got
there's
up
no hope
earlier.
for there was no hope
We
for a
wouldn't
fucking
be
sequel
late."
where we follow him some
He
more.
asked me if I
Eh.
were afraid. And I said, "I'm not afraid."
But yeah, he would have been a serious like
And
fucking
then this man started walking up the
like
road.
he would have been a serious like today like I'd imagine like because if George Romero
And Johnny
lived
kept
as long as he
teasing
did,
me and
like
saying,
Dwayne Jones probably would
"He's
have
coming to get you, Barbara."
been alive.
And I laughed at him.
This
and said, "John,
story always
stop
gets
it."
to me because it just seems like
And then
she
Johnny ran
becomes
away.
kind of
And I-
mentally handicapped. Like
and I was going
she
to
has-
apologize.
she talks like a child
Why
in
don't you
this
just
scene. Like
keep
it's very
calm?
strange
And I looked up
how she's recalling
and I
the
said,
story,
"Please."
and she didn't seem this stupid before,
And he
but she just
grabbed
sort
me.
of
He
she
grabbed
just
me,
sort of
and he ripped at me.
she goes down in intelligence increasingly as this movie progresses.
Just calm down.
Oh, I
And Ben is just like,
screamed, "Johnny,
what the
Johnny,
fuck?
help me,
Like,
oh,
it's just
help
like,
me."
it's just a...
And he wouldn't let me go. He ripped.
Honestly, it would be kind of funny to see this movie, like, today, and
He
it's
fought
this...
man.
It's like everything else is sort of updated, except Barbara is the exact same, so Ben is even more like, what the fuck are you... Like, why are you being such a, like, fucking dickhead? Like, seriously, cut it out.
We have to wait for Johnny.
Five Nights at Freddy's as a movie does sound kind of retarded.
Maybe we better go out.
I don't know. I don't understand why she became. I mean, I guess it's established that she's sort of easily scared. So I guess that's. I guess this is just way too much for her to psychologically handle. Why was Barbara going to a cemetery anyway? Because she was like visiting like a dead relative, her mother, I believe, with her brother. Which, you know, that's okay. Like, actually, I don't know if you guys know this, but John Russo, the co-writer of this movie, he released in the late '90s. He released a special edition of Night of the Living Dead. It had a completely new soundtrack, and it added totally new scenes that were shot in the '90s. And he spliced it into this '60s movie, and it was just fucking terrible. Like, the soundtrack was fucking awful. It was this sort of cheesy synth soundtrack. Like, I don't know why they updated that, and all the scenes were unnecessary because they had like a prequel scene where you see the first zombie we ever see, like him, like sort of his like origin story, but it's like there's a 30-year gap, so it's the 30th anniversary edition. There's this 30-year gap where he looks totally different. And I'm supposed to believe, like, even with the zombie makeup, he looks totally fucking different. Like, I don't know what John Russo was fucking smoking. Like, he made some really poor choices, because he was responsible for the longest time, there was the George Romero zombie movies and the John Russo zombie movies. Like, there was this split between the two. And Russo made Living Dead zombie movies, and Romero made zombie movies with, like, something of the, like, a time of day of the... That was, like, I guess, their little arrangement that they had. So Russo made the Return of the Living Dead movies, and those were pretty okay. They were much more... They weren't serious or anything. They were much more fun. But then he made, like, Children of the Living Dead. I don't know if you've seen my review of it from, like half a decade ago, but that movie was fucking terrible. Like, I don't know what they were thinking with that. It's amazing how fucking dumb and terrible that movie was. And he didn't actually make it, he just produced it, but just the fact that he was responsible for it is just... he made some poor choices. Like, oh god, I don't know what the deal was with John Russo. Man. I've never seen any of his other movies. I don't know. Yeah, I guess maybe they're called flesh eaters in this movie instead of zombies. Which, it is a more direct name. I mean, zombie, it was sort of co-opted from, like, I think zombies were a fucking Haitian thing, and they brought you back to, or they pretended, or they made you seem like you were dead, when, like, it was this weird, it was like a Haitian scam or something, I believe, like a voodoo scam, where they made you look like you were dead, and then they dig you up, and then they make you like a slave or something, like, it's a very convoluted way to scam people, but, it's actually kind of funny, like, oh man. Yeah, Bill Heinzman, yeah, that's the name of the key zombie in this movie. The iconic zombie that appears throughout, from the beginning to the end. Yeah, Serpent in the Rainbow had that premise of the zombie. The real premise. Yeah, I feel like maybe, I don't know where zombie, because they don't call them zombies in this movie, and they're not, I don't know why zombie became the name for it, so, name for what this kind of monster is, but it caught on somehow. I don't know where it happened, where that became a thing. It's sort of like how Frankenstein's monster is called Frankenstein. You know, you just don't know how it happens. But I guess maybe there's just some ignorance along the way, and it just catches on, and it just becomes this. It's the name of the fucking thing in pop culture, you know? It's very strange. Very, very weird. I mean, because, you know, people call the Child's Play series the Chucky movies, or the Chucky series, you know, because they just know something. I don't know, it's weird. But yeah, I'm surprised they're not called Flesh Eaters or The Living Dead. And yeah, this is all exposition stuff, like, you know, you're getting two things across. You have, like, the radio in the background sort of establishing the situation that's going on. And then you have, like, Ben just sort of, like, fucking sort of preparing, like, doing the best he could. Yeah, someone brings this up in the chat. Yeah, this movie was modeled quite a bit off of I Am Legend, but, where, I Am Legend had, like, vampires, and the whole world got taken over by vampires and shit, which, of course, I Am Legend was eventually adapted into, Last Man on Earth, starring the late, great Vincent Price, which is a movie I'll probably also be streaming to, because that movie's also fucking public domain. I don't know how some of these movies ended up in the public domain. It's very strange. I don't know how certain horror movies, like, producers at the time for horror movies must have been really fucking incompetent. Like, oh, great, we don't get to make any fucking money off our movie. Thanks, dude. Fucking just copyright it. But yeah, it's based on Richard Matheson's, this was inspired by Richard Matheson's novel, I Am Legend, which, of course, it also got turned into that fucking Will Smith movie, and I don't know, I guess the Will Smith movie is probably much more, faithful, but at the same time, I don't know. It's Will Smith, it's just, to me, Will Smith is just so much more of he's not really, well, he's just such a light-hearted actor. I don't know, it's just hard to take him seriously in, dark stuff. I don't know. I just see him as, like, fucking Fresh Prince of Bel-Air all the time. I don't know, it's just hard for me to accept him. Now, fucking, Denzel Washington, Last Man on Earth? Pretty cool. Fucking, Liam Neeson, Last Man on Earth? Pretty cool, too. Let's keep the chat, fucking,
This place is boarded up pretty solid.
yeah, okay, I mean, he just said that. He said the N-word, but with an A at the end. Okay, that's okay. Never mind. Yeah, let's, keep the chat somewhat tame, but not...
Sooner or later, someone...
Ah, whatever. Who cares? Let's just watch the movie. And yeah, they're talking about, like, they talk about some wacky theories about how this happens. And that's kind of cool. Like, they talk about, like, creatures from outer space and shit. Like, it's so ambiguous, like, why the zombies are rising at all, and they never explain it in the Romero movies, at least. And there's honestly
I'm going
no,
upstairs now.
there's no real good explanation for why
If anything should try to break in here, I can
zombies
hear it.
would happen.
I'll be down
Like,
to take care of it.
it's never really
Everything's all right
touched
for
on
now.
in
I'll
any
be
of the
back to
in any
reinforce the windows
decent
and doors
zombie
later.
movies, at least. Like,
But you'll be all right for now, okay?
it's just zombies exist. Unless there's another
Okay.
horror movie that's good. Yes, this is. Let's keep the chat room Christian. Well, I'll have it satanic if I need it to be, but keep it Christian for now. Yeah, I just don't know what happened to that dead body. Like, it's reasonably decayed too. I don't know what happened to that fucking person. That poor son of a bitch. I don't know. It's very weird. Yeah, you don't want to get too bogged down in explanations, okay? It's never a good thing in a horror movie, because to me, a horror movie, the signature thing is that it's pretty much you against something that you're pretty much powerless against, and that's the dynamic. And if you're totally powerless against something, there's no fucking reasoning with it, and there's no reason for it to want to fucking explain any fucking shit. It's something that you're powerless against, and it wants to kill you or do something really fucking bad to you, so there's no explanation period where, like, oh, it's like a James Bond movie, and it's like, oh, okay, this is what's going on. Nope.
Medical examination of victims' bodies shows conclusively that the killers are eating the flesh of the people they kill.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like suddenly, Barbara's character was written for, like, a younger actress in mind that's, like, in her fucking, that's just, like 11 or something, but, like, she's fucking clearly in her mid-20s, but she's just acting like a little kid, just sort of spacing out, looking at the radio. It's very weird. I'll tell you what, I'll put on SpongeBob when it becomes public domain, okay? Someone in the chat. Quit messing with me. Quit messing with me with your nut shack fucking avatar.
How long you guys been down there? I could use some help up here.
That's the cellar. It's the safest place.
So, I'm pretty sure that this isn't their house either, so everybody just sort of descended upon this random farmhouse that happened to have nobody living inside it because they were dead. It's very weird, like, and that's kind of cool. Like,
we thought we could hear screams, but
it's cool that they have just this really weird, unexplained, creepy shit where, like, someone got murdered. Someone definitely got murdered. Someone in the comments said, if I saw It Follows, I actually saw it recently, and you know what? It was pretty good. Pretty good. But, I was kind of disappointed in It Follows that it was, that nobody, that you could only see the it that follows you if you are infected by it by, like, fucking having sex. I was a little disappointed by that, because it was just like, but I thought the whole point of it, based on the trailers, was that it sort of changed shape, so it can, like, fucking blend into surroundings, so nobody, so it can, like, blend into a crowd. But no, it turned out, oh, okay, nobody can fucking see it but you, the person that it is following. That aspect kind of disappointed me, because I was, like, really intrigued by the idea that it can transform into different things. But besides that, it was a good fucking movie, you know? It was a pretty good fucking horror movie. I've not seen Babadook yet, but it does sound compelling as a icon for the gay community, so I'll probably find out how that connection was made.
Those things don't have any strength. I smashed 3 of them and pushed another one out the door.
And if you guys are concerned about missing something, it's gonna be uploaded right after the stream automatically. That's what I love about streaming. It's just, I don't have to fucking edit. I can give you guys content. And that's not to say that I'm not going to make reviews. It's just, things have been really fucking busy lately. I really don't appreciate how busy it's been, but I just haven't had the time lately to write and edit my videos. I'm in the middle of writing a video, and I'd say I'm halfway through writing it, but I just been drawn to these other projects that I don't want to fucking necessarily do over making a video for you guys. But guess what? Sooner than later, I'm going to be back to making my regular content for you fine people.
But the cellar is the strongest place.
The cellar's a death trap.
But yeah, I feel like if they ever
You know how many's out there?
made another remake,
Maybe 6 or 7.
I feel like the guy who would play that bald dude, it would definitely be the I can't fucking remember his name, but the guy who created Children's Hospital, that fucking guy, who's a Daily Show correspondent. Like, that's what I think when I see see that fucking bald dude.
Let's think about this. We can make it to the cellar if we have to. And if we do decide to
Man, that one guy is really short.
So let's
Never noticed that before.
Consider this a while.
But yeah, I mean, some of these characters are reasonable. I honestly don't know what they're...
At least up here you have a fighting chance.
I should probably start paying more attention to the movie instead of talking over it, but...
Yeah, it looks like about 8 or 10 out there now.
I don't really know the real dynamic between the white characters. Okay, well, here's how... Okay, so there's the bald guy and his wife who are in the cellar and their daughter. Okay, so that's a family. And then there's this dude who's whacking the hands, and he has a girlfriend who's also in the cellar at the moment. So, okay, so that's these two people. Rob Corddry, yes. Rob Corddry should play that fucking bald guy. Yeah, that's definitely what I think of. Yeah, that guy. But yeah, okay, so, okay, there's a family, there's a couple, there's a truck driver, and there's just this random fucking bitch that doesn't do anything. And that's the cast. Okay. I think I got the basic gist of it. Yeah, you know, I've always been intrigued by Martin. Like, it seemed... I've never had the opportunity to see it yet, but it sounded like a really cool thing where it was a gritty approach to vampires, where it was a gritty, grounded approach, where it took place in, like, a real world, instead of the more supernatural approach. I need to watch that soon. But I was also intrigued by fucking... I can't remember the name of the movie, but... Oh, there's some... Wow, she thick! But anyway, I actually don't know how they were able to convince people to show up naked as zombies. It seems so... These actors were like... This must have been really fucking weird for them to... Unless these are just fucking people who are totally 100% down with it. I don't know.
You're crazy.
But yeah, Romero also made this movie where I think... Where a dude woke up... I was going to do a review about it years ago, where a dude woke up and he's got like a mask on his face. Oh yeah, Bruiser. Name is Bruiser. And he has this mask on his face, and it's got these little tiny dots and this fucking face without any expression. And I think the whole movie's about him trying to find out what happened, but why that happened. It just seems so weird, and I couldn't get halfway through it. Like, I just sort of lost interest in it. I don't know.
She can't possibly... I couldn't bring her up here. She can't possibly take all the racket and those
but it seemed so cool to me, but then I watched it and I was just like, this isn't as cool as I thought it was going to be.
That's your business. However, I am not stupid enough to follow you. It is tough for the kid that her old man is so stupid. Now,
whoa.
the hell down in the cellar.
Burn.
You can be the boss down there. I'm boss up here.
You bastards.
I like those devil emojis, Cortez.
I mean it.
Mr. Cooper, with your help, we could...
With my help.
Let him go, man. His mind is made up. Just let him go.
But yeah, that's the tension between these characters. The reasonable fellow named Ben wants to stay in the house and just wait it out, whereas the family wants to get out.
It's all right, honey. Go
But
ahead.
the doors are already barricaded, and that's the issue. But then again, I don't know. Zombies can't I can understand the family wanting to get out because I guess their daughter is injured and they want to get her to a hospital,
Together,
but
man, we can fix it up real good.
yeah, that's something
There's
that
lots of places we can run
I'm trying to
up
think
here.
of.
Mr. Cooper,
Just that
we'd all be a lot better off if all three of us
zombies
were
are
working
usually very. I mean, the only real threat, if you're dealing with the slow, weak zombies that are great in numbers, is that you have to deal with just running out of food, pretty much. You need to get some food. But other than that, you could pretty much I could pretty much go through my normal everyday routine during a zombie apocalypse, and as long as, like, a pizza delivery guy could show up in like, some sort of armored van and just crash through all the zombies and give me my pizza, no, it wouldn't really affect a lot of shut-ins' lives that much. Like, you could go about your normal routine, you know? It's not that different.
Yeah, but I didn't know who they
It's
were
just a
and I
bunch of
wasn't
slow
about to
zombies. They can't get
take
through
any
my
unnecessary
barricades because
chances.
they're too weak. And they should be too dumb to even know what a barricade is. Like, usually, at least my impression is that zombies, they only react if they're near, like, a living human being or something alive, and they swarm on it, and they're just focused on killing it and eating it for some reason, though they don't even really need to eat. They just eat it because it's, I guess, scarier than just killing a dude. But yeah, they don't need to eat.
Let them stay upstairs.
They don't need to fucking eat. I believe that they could supposedly live
Anyways,
forever
monsters can get in up there.
and not have to worry about eating food.
We'll see who's right. We'll see when they come begging me to let them in down here.
Oh, no problem, Mystic Ranger, you know.
What?
We're all late every now and
What do you mean
then.
by that?
But hopefully not your girlfriend. Because then you gotta deal with a kid. It's not good. I definitely prefer slow zombies. I don't know. I think they're
Mass murder is going on everywhere.
I think they're just creepier.
Radio said to stay inside.
Radio?
Fast zombies, they're just like,
I heard a news
I don't know, it just looks so silly to me. Just seeing a dude sprint at me, like, I know it'd be scarier in real life having a dude sprint at you,
There's mass murder everywhere.
but
and people are supposed to look for a safe place
but
to hide.
it's not scary to see. It's sort of like,
We are staying
you know, some
down
people
here.
like to play golf, but watching golf, I don't know how anyone could fucking like watching golf. You're watching a dude in the middle of a fucking field hitting eventually swinging a stick towards a fucking ball, but there's a fucking whole channel that revolves around this fucking sport that no one should want to fucking watch. It's fucking boring. Whatever, okay.
But dying together isn't
Getting
very
all my
romantic.
hot opinions in, okay?
Those people aren't our enemies.
My voice is loud now? Maybe No, it's the same volume register. I mean, maybe it's louder than the movie, but I don't know. I'll adjust it slightly. But not really. I'm not gonna adjust it. Fuck it. Maybe I'm yelling. I don't know. I'll adjust it slightly. Fuck it. Let's do that. And I can honestly, no. I mean, yeah, the movie's at full audio, so I can't really do anything about that.
Do I have to?
My voice is too quiet now. That's not good. Let's fix it.
Do this.
Hey, there we go.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay, open up.
fuck it. Voice is too quiet? Oh, you guys in the chat are misleading me or something. I don't know. Maybe you need to fucking fix your fucking volume controls, okay? Oh, man. They're fucking with you good. I like to hear that. I like the fact that your name is Deadshot, but your profile image is fucking Fry from Futurama.
She's all I have.
Okay,
Why don't you go upstairs now?
alright. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this movie doesn't establish that, I don't know, if being bitten by a zombie turns you into a zombie, or, because yeah, it's definitely if you die, you come back as a zombie, but I wonder if that was a thing in this movie. I think she got bitten, and that's why that little girl is dying, so I wonder if that's something he fucking seeded into this movie, is the idea that the zombie's bite will eventually kill you, and then you'll become a zombie. I wonder. I need to... Because I wasn't really super paying attention. So, let's see if somebody in the chat has some answers. Yeah, she got bit. Okay. That's good to know. That a little girl is going to die. Again, that is actually, when you think about it, that's really fucking next level for the 60s. Like, oh yeah, we have this little girl in the movie who is dying, and then eventually becomes a ghoulish creature that fucking murders people. Like, yeah, it's pretty... No, fuck you, Stratoveros, man.
Don't be
Fuck
afraid of
you.
me.
And you don't capitalize Doc, okay?
His wife.
There shouldn't be any emphasis on that. It's not, fuck you, Doc, Wolfula. That's very weird, okay? It's weird that you put emphasis on that.
This place is ridiculous. Look at this. There's a million weak spots.
I don't know what that means, Renee DeFro. You don't have to be bitten to be a lesbian? It's a weird spelling.
Her brother was killed.
Yeah, it's a pretty next level thing to have killer little kids that are undead. Yeah, it was, again, this was, I'm surprised, I don't know,
I can't see a damn thing.
because,
There could be 15 million.
I don't know,
of us
Texas
out there.
Chainsaw Massacre is
That's what these windows are.
considered the most historically, controversial film,
Why don't
but,
you do something to help
I'm
somebody?
surprised this movie isn't considered more controversial for its time, especially, yeah.
Here I have it. Drag a couple of those
But I guess
chairs
maybe
together.
because it was, this was much more of a fucking... Again, this movie had sort of a different distribution thing. It was much more of a drive-through film, you know? So I think there was not much of a care about
I don't want to hear any more from you, mister.
controversial subject matter. Well, it looks like the stream's going... I took a little glance at the stream, and it looks like it's coming along okay. I can't hear the audio, so whatever.
Reports, incredible as they seem, are not.
Yeah, you better report Stratovirus, man. Death Rips, you better.
Imagining all this?
In all parts of
I noticed you banned a best, but I also remember that you said that this was bad content. So
by creatures who feast upon the flesh of their
now let's not get
First eyewitness
too
accounts of this
angry at
grisly
Goulash. You know, he has some uses, and also his name has an H in it.
almost
So
incoherent.
wow, that guy got banned for saying "fuck you, Goulash."
First discounted
I know
eyewitness descriptions as being
that moderator is a fan of Goulash for some reason, but you don't have to fucking
medical examination
block a guy or delete his message for saying "fuck Goulash." I'll say it right now, "Fuck Goulash." Haha. I mean, I'll still put his videos up, but fuck him. Yeah, sure, he meant badass content. He would have put ass in there, but yeah, this is where the movie, like the movie's always sort of fucking taking things up a notch. Where now it's introduced, it started with the radio stuff, but now it's introducing the TV, and we're actually seeing how people are reacting to this. Like, it's, the movie gradually builds, and that's pretty fucking good. And I wonder, like, it could have been no accident. Like, they must have really been trying to make not just like some sort of forgettable horror movie that could sell decently at a drive-in, but they must have been really trying their hardest to make a legitimately great horror film and film in general, just like a great fucking film. I just snorted a bit.
Stay tuned to the broadcasting stations in your local area for this list of
This is a good movie, Cortez.
will be repeated
This
throughout our
is.
news coverage. Look for the name of
one of the
wrestling
best.
station nearest you and make your way
It's
to
not my
that
favorite horror
location
movie, but
as
it's...
soon as possible.
So we have that truck.
Romero, I don't want to think about the idea that George Romero was murdered. That's a weird thing to bring up in the chat, but it was a little weird. It's weird when I hear about, like,
Convening this conference,
celebrities
the National Cabinet,
that just
the
sort of
FBI,
suddenly
the
die.
chiefs of staff, the CIA,
Like, because
has not
Romero was
provided any
old,
public information.
but I was super shocked by his death because it was just out of nowhere. Like, I was just like, I didn't hear, like, because my expectation is that you hear someone is sick, and then they gradually, you sort of see it coming, but it's weird, really weird when it just suddenly happens and they just fucking die and you don't have any preparation. Like, and I guess maybe that it's sort of intentional now, especially with the social media. They want to keep it quiet, but I heard that he was making a fucking new, like a new fucking, like, what's the, a new fucking Mad Max style zombie movie that was going on, like, but then he just dies all of a sudden, like days before. I was like, oh, George Romero is fucking making a new horror movie, new fucking zombie movie, but then he makes nothing because he just dies all of a sudden. Like, it's very weird. Like, I just didn't understand it. Like, it. Well, my wife Meredith is pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. She exists wholly in my mind, but she is a real entity that occupies the barriers. Like, she exists between the barriers of space and time. Very, very convoluted, I know, but you know, it's whatever. And yeah, they even go to this B-roll footage of inside fucking Washington D.C. Like, they really, it feels like a documentary thing. It feels like they got a lot of inspiration from fucking from the H.G. Wells, or not H.G. Orson Welles. I find it so funny that H.G. Wells and Orson Welles both had something to do with War of the Worlds. But yeah, the Orson Welles War of the Worlds broadcast, where they put in this stuff to make you believe that what you're watching is actually going on. Like, it's this sort of immersive experience where it has this sort of lore that comes together, you know? Yeah, I love that line, Diablo Jones. They're dead. They're all messed up.
Willard. I saw a sign that said Willard.
Worst Romero movie? I don't know if I want to go into that, but
From around here? Judy and I are both
I don't
from
know.
around here. We were on our way up to the lake to go swimming.
I generally
Judy had
don't.
a radio and
I don't
we
know.
heard
I
the first
watched
reports
Diary of
about
the
this.
Dead a few
So we
times,
knew the old
and at the
house was
time,
somewhere. We came in
I
and
honestly
found
kind of
the
liked
lady
it.
upstairs
Like,
dead.
I thought it was kind of
Then these other people
neat.
came.
Like,
We went down into the
I don't know.
basement.
It's very
and
weird.
put a bar
Like,
across the door, and it is pretty strong. How could we
I don't hate any of the movies I've seen of his. I saw Bruiser. I just got kind of bored watching it, but I don't know. I don't hate any of the movies that I can think of that I've seen of his. I know that, honestly, I'd probably say the worst movie is the one I haven't seen. There's Always Vanilla, or whatever. I don't know what it's fucking called exactly. I think that's what it's called, though. I think that's a terrible movie, probably, since he openly says it's a terrible movie. I don't know.
We don't know yet what complications might result from such injuries.
How bad has your kid been hurt?
Well, let's find out how the kid got hurt. Come on,
Look, you go down
spit it
there and
out.
So now, Judy,
No.
you tell Judy to come up here and you stay with the kid, all
Not
right?
It's not gonna say it. Oh, man. How did the kid get hurt? What if it was abuse? No, probably not. Never mind.
Sometime early this morning, it opened its eyes and began to move its
How do you guys like my little spiffy, spiffy convertible? Wait, she got hit by a car?
They want you upstairs.
That's weird.
Did she ask for me? She had.
Is it hit and run?
I don't understand.
Yeah, Goulash is on top of the Wolfie layer. Like I said, this theater, this drive-in theater is right next to the Wolfie layer. You can't really see it in footage, but it's right next to it. And I just have like this little cable that's running from the camera that's recording me in the little convertible that I'm in, the little spiffy roadster. So yeah, he's on top of the roof of the Wolfie layer, making sure that the connection's decent. It's a weird antenna-based modem.
The bereaved will have to forego the dubious comforts that a funeral service will give.
Ormsby
They're just
Public
dead
Health
flesh
Department.
And dangerous.
I don't know, I just felt like saying it.
Spreads or sheets to tear up into small strips, okay? Is there a fruit cellar here?
Yes.
We need some bottles.
I feel like there's some sexual tension between her and Ben.
Hey, there's a big can of kerosene down
I can't blame her.
See what I can find.
Haha, okay.
There's a big key ring down there. There may be a key to the gas pump on it.
I'll check.
We can toss the cocktails from a window upstairs. Meantime, a couple of us can go out and try to get the gas and come back for the rest of the people.
But that'll leave a door open someplace.
That's right.
but that'll leave the door open someplace.
To the truck. Before we go,
I don't know,
there's
that's...
some supplies behind the cellar door. While we're gone, the rest of you can hold up in there.
I found some fruit jars in the cellar. And there's a key on here that's
Oh,
labeled
great.
for
Is
the
there
gas
still
pump
some
out
fruit
back.
inside there? We have a little, little picnic while we're out there. Might as well.
I can handle the
I mean, they're
truck,
so
no
fucking
sweat.
slow. You can just, you just chill out.
Then you and I'll go.
There's so few of them, yeah. Oh, you're making bacon pancakes, John Cole? Oh, man. Make sure to share with the rest of your audience.
Tom, you and I will have to unboard this door.
Make sure to get out of your car, and, I don't know how you're making bacon pancakes inside your car. This is a drive-in.
Get the gas and get back into the house. Then we'll worry about getting
Quit.
everybody into the
Fuck, you're playing with fire, band the best.
Let's move it.
You're playing with fire, and Wild Engineer is not gonna have any of it. Okay? Because you... Halloween returns, Halloween is not returning. They're not making that one anymore. They're making the one with, fucking guy from Pineapple Express. He's in the new Alien movie. I can never fucking remember his name. I don't know why, but that guy's fucking writing it, and they got the guy who directed that movie as well to direct the new Halloween movie, so that's an interesting choice. We'll see how that,
The phone is dead out.
Yeah, some of these mods,
All you get is a recorded message.
they're a little harsh towards,
If I could only call the phone.
Then again, I can appreciate it. They don't appreciate insolence.
Everything
And
will
I
be
don't
all right.
appreciate it either,
As
but
soon as we get to Willard,
they can lay off a
Tom,
little bit.
they might
I'd
even
say,
be there.
Danny McBride, yes. That's the great thing about having a chat. I can make mistakes and instantaneously not have to deal with the consequences. Because they instantaneously tell me the right answer, and I don't have to worry about comments that say, oh,
Getting out of here?
this is that actor's name.
The television said that's the right
Okay,
thing.
that's great.
We've got
They're
to get to
like
a
you're like the
rescue station.
fucking 11th person that's told me that, but
You're starting to
that's
sound like Mr.
great.
Cooper now.
Why do you have to go out there?
Look, I know how to handle that truck, and I can handle the pump. Ben doesn't know anything about that stuff.
More like no mods, only
We're
gods.
safe in here.
Like me, I'm
We're
pretty
safe
much
now.
your god,
But there's
right?
going to be more and more of those things.
I know
I gotta
all that.
I gotta review a Saw movie because of the new movie this year. Believe it or not, I've never seen a fucking Saw movie. I don't know. I've never all that interested in
Remember how difficult
the
it
movies
was
that
for
I
us to
based
convince
on
you that
footage
it
I
was
saw.
right,
I don't know.
Tom?
It never really
Remember we had to go
never
to
really
Willard
buzzed
then?
me. I don't know.
This isn't a
But
pass.
maybe I will to capitalize
It's
on the
not
new
just a win
friction
passing
that
through.
the
We've got to
whatever.
do something.
I guess it's a
Fast.
sequel. I guess it's called Jigsaw this time. I don't know. It might be a prequel. Who really knows? Who cares?
I just don't want you to
But,
go out there, that's all.
Yeah, I don't know, because they made like 6 of them, I believe, and
Where's that big smile
I
from me?
think they made 6 of them, and they have this weird chronology. I don't know. Apparently they're pretty confusing to watch. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like they have this sort of romantic element to the movie, and like certain things sort of fall down about this movie, like Barbara, for instance. Like honestly, Ben is the most fucking intriguing character because he's like just
We better get
trying
upstairs.
not
We
to
have to go
die. He's
downstairs
trying
now.
to act responsibly, but all these other characters are like
You have to go downstairs.
their minds are
Just for a little
other
bit.
places that they shouldn't even be fucking worrying about. Like
Oh, I'd
he's
like
the only
to.
guy who's on the ball.
Yes.
This whole fucking movie, like the only other character that's somewhat on the ball is fucking Rob Corddry guy, and he is he's making the wrong moves. He's making all the wrong moves, even then.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I keep seeing deleted messages. Oh man, mods don't take no shit. No, I don't have popcorn, unfortunately. The concession stand, it's a little too far, and I don't have really anybody to fucking hand me it. I don't know. I don't know what the point of that concession stand was if I wasn't going to use it, but whatever. In case you want to see the concession stand, I'll turn off the film for a second so we can pull it out. There it is. You see it? It's right there in the corner. Isn't that cute? Alright, back to the film. Yeah, no problem, Noah. Do what I can. So, unfortunately, you have to listen to me speak over this screening of the movie, but them's the breaks, okay? This is public domain theater. What about a drink? No drink dispensers. Again, this is very early on. I'm gonna be really revolutionizing the whole streaming business with this fucking thing. Okay, I'm gonna have like trailers and shorts and all kinds of stuff. I'm gonna try to make this feel like a true drive-in experience, a true throwback. I'm also gonna make I'm gonna make announcements, news, make some fucking, I'm trying to think, have schedules pop up and shit. Some drama going on in the chat, like, we're fucking watching a horror movie, come on. Gay means having a jolly time, but it could also mean be somewhat disparaging, apparently. But then again, gay people own it now, supposedly, hopefully. But then again, I don't know, it's a weird, confusing situation. Oh, I love the way it explodes. I love the way this fucking car explodes. Like, I don't know. Certain things, yeah, certain effects, when they go out of their comfort zone, beyond the zombies and like the gore and stuff, when they get to shit like, the car exploding, it gets it's a little not as good. Not as good as what came before. But then again, this movie was made for $100,000. And I don't like that disparaging language, Eduardo Perez. That's not okay. You're gonna have to deal with that. Thanks, Laura. Alrighty. That's the kind of shit that should be deleted. I do like how the mods showed up without me having to fucking announce it ahead of time, like yesterday. Like, I didn't want to even take a chance on wasting people's time, because I don't know if you were here yesterday, but there was some serious lag issues. AT&T was fucking around with the maintenance in my neighborhood. All the way out here, surprisingly. I don't know why they did that all the way out in the middle of nowhere. They fucked around with it, and
Key won't work.
it was honestly much more of an ordeal than anything depicted in this movie. Having to deal with slow internet. The internet wasn't down. The internet was briefly down, actually, but then it came back up, but it was slow, and it was slow all day, and I didn't really notice it until I fucking streamed. And then it turned out all I had to do was fucking unplug it, replug it in. Pretty anticlimactic. I was pretty fucking pissed off that I had to cancel a stream just to fucking unplug a goddamn modem. I don't know. Movie's going slow for you? It looks... Stream Health says it's green, and it's not going red, so, movie's going slow. Let me check. No way, I doubt it. Let me see. Yeah, movie's going at regular fucking speed. I'm looking at it right now. Okay, now it's going a little orange and... That's weird. But, okay, it's starting to slow down for some reason. I don't know, it's weird, but it's not as bad as before. There's probably some drop frames, but it says, out of everything that's being streamed, only 1.1% has dropped. So that's pretty good. That's probably like, streamed for like 80 minutes. It's only like less than half a minute's worth of drop frames. That's not bad. Doing okay, okay? But yeah, this is the end of the second act, I'd assume, where they actually try to get a handle on this situation and get out, but then they just realize there's just no hope of being able to do it. Honestly, the only people who can survive in these George Romero zombie movies are rednecks, because they have all those guns. That's the lesson that they teach, is that if you want to survive in a zombie movie, hopefully you're a redneck and you already own fucking guns, because they never make a zombie movie about those guys, because, like, those guys are set for life. They don't have to fucking worry about it. They can kill whoever they want indiscriminately. It's pretty sweet. This is the first time you've seen this, Elizabeth? That's wild. Unfortunately, you're seeing this with a guy talking over it, so, but it could be worse. You could be watching the color version or the 30th anniversary edition, and those aren't no good. You gotta be watching the black and white edition, hopefully HD. This movie was not widescreen, so it's full screen. So it's like, so you don't end up getting gypped if you get the DVD. You don't end up finding out, oh wait, I got the full screen edition. Fuck. No, it's full screen no matter what. Perfect for TV, at least for a few decades, but then TV, now it's fucking widescreen, and I wouldn't be surprised. That's something I hate about fucking TV now is that, oh, it's all HD now. It's all widescreen, so we have to take classic material and crop it, stretch it out, to play it to people, and it just always looks ugly. There's always stuff cut out. It's honestly worse than when it's just as bad as when a widescreen movie is cropped into a full screen movie. I don't want to even imagine what this movie would be like fucking cropped to make it appear as if it's actually widescreen when it's not. This sequence is so fucking badass, where they show like the burning wreckage, and they're like fucking seriously like, and I never even really thought about that. I was so focused on just the bloodshed and stuff, but thinking about, oh yeah, wait, that guy was that fucking gore that they're eating right now, that was a fucking character. That used to be a character who was walking and talking. I actually never really thought, because I was always so focused on just like the shock value of the gore. And that's something that they fixed in later movies, where they actually show you, they make sure you know that a guy's getting fucking eaten. In this movie, it was more like, the zombies are just sort of picking at the remains and can't really clearly see the body. So I never really connected that before until just now. I don't know. Oh well. I feel like this. I get the feeling that this actress was like fucking playing hungover or something. Like the female characters in this movie are so strange.
We don't have very long to wait.
Like their head is not in the game. I don't know what's up with that.
Well, we better leave soon. It's 10 minutes to 3.
What the fuck are you talking about, Barbara? Like she just goes fucking nuts. And it did shock me when I saw this movie for the first time, because I was like, oh, this is the main character, and she's kind of vulnerable, she's kind of scared at the beginning, but over the course of the film, she'll clearly progress and develop, and she'll become much more self-reliant and a strong female character. But no, she gets just dumber and dumber and sadder, and she does less and less.
It's at least a mile.
It's
Johnny has the keys.
It's fucking weird.
That child a mile through that army of things out there.
It's fucking weird.
What's wrong with her? How'd she get
Luckily, because like
One of those things grabbed her.
no, it's
Bit her on the arm.
because like
What's wrong?
with Halloween, like, well, yeah, it's still, but Jamie Lee Curtis was still in the game. She was just scared, but she was still like trying to survive. In this movie, if Barbara came against fucking Michael Myers, she would just stand there and she would get killed. Like,
You can't start the car.
Yeah, I don't know.
Johnny has the keys.
You have a car? Where is it?
you can hotwire a car, Barbara. Get out of your sort of white bread fucking upbringing. You can fucking hotwire a car, dude. Come on. I'm sure you are sexy, Isaac. That's why your fucking avatar is not your face. We can't handle the sexiness of you. It is fucked up because they got like a lot of real fucking meat and shit. The makeup actually with the black and white, the makeup looks a lot better than Dawn of the Dead. Like as far as the way the zombies look, they have that texture to them. Instead of like in Dawn of the Dead where they just like sort of pallid and blue and shit. Yeah, public domain movie. I don't have to fucking pay for this. Who's the guy in the boxers? Oh yeah, that like that it sort of makes you wonder like how these people died, because like some of them are naked, some of them are in their fucking underpants. Like, how did that happen? Like, it makes me wonder like what happened in this fucking farming area where this many fucking people are walking around dead and shit. Because like, I don't know, I'm pretty sure, unlike in like the cartoons where they show like zombies climbing out of fucking dirt graves and shit, I'm pretty sure in this movie that they're not really doing that. So a lot of these dead people are just sort of, they just exist out of nowhere. I don't know. It's weird. Oh, you bought my t-shirt? In case you guys don't know, I got some t-shirts with my fucking face on it. Available on tpublic.com if you want to buy them. And this is where they finally established the sort of redneck people who are fucking fucking really systematically taking over the world. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if like the Land of the Dead survivors in that movie are fucking descended from the rednecks in this movie or something. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not done making fucking movie reviews. It's just things have been slow lately. I've been really busy with other projects, and I've just something. That guy establishes a whole lot in just one sentence. He establishes the shoot him in the head thing, which happens in every fucking zombie thing. They always, well, then again, it's not that surprising because
all messed up.
I love that line. Fucking love that line. It's such a good delivery, but yeah, it's just, yeah, I mean, I guess it goes without saying, like, they need a brain to move, right? Am I wrong in thinking that? Like, but then again, in Reanimator, like, it had like the undead, and you could reanimate anything, and it comes to life, and it can move around and shit. Alright, maybe it would, in theory, be scarier if the zombies didn't need to fucking zombies didn't even need brains or their heads or anything. They could just fucking keep moving around. That's what I like to hear, Brett. Ordering a shirt an hour ago. Cortez, you're really disappointing me in the chat.
It isn't the fuse. The power lines are down. Helen, I have to get that gun.
Haven't you had enough?
But 2 people are dead already on account of that guy. Take a look out that window.
Maybe if you cooperate a little bit, Rob Corddry, those people wouldn't be dead. It's a team effort, okay? Zombie apocalypses are a team effort. If you're not a team player, then you have no fucking right to complain, okay? Or to even cooperate in this, even no, not cooperate, participate in this zombie apocalypse. Okay, actually now, yeah, the zombies do like they use tools and stuff, and they're actively trying to get in. So, and it's a bit like in Last Man on Earth with Vincent Price, where vampires are actively trying to break the barricades, but then again, yeah, the vampires were really weird in that movie, where they were like the zombies in this movie, except they could talk, and they remembered who they were. But other than that, they moved slowly, and they weren't very powerful by themselves. So, yeah, it's a little weird. It's a little weird how, like, yeah, but this movie just has much more staying power than Last Man on Earth. And I'm trying to think if there's specific reason. I guess maybe because of just the social quality, like the social criticism quality of this movie, compared to Last Man on Earth, where it was much more like straightforward. A guy is sad that he's the last man on Earth and he's trying to fix it, but he's dealing with these fucking zombie vampires fucking talking shit about him at night. Okay, well. Oh yeah, Ben killed him, but like it's handled so like there's certain things that the low budgetness of it where I didn't really get the feeling that Ben actually even shot him because like the sound effect was barely there and he's still like sort of he's really milking his death right there. Do I think the zombies in Night of the Living Dead are much more intelligent? Yeah, well, I feel like the zombies are, like, they're destined to be more intelligent in this movie, because in Dawn of the Dead, it was all about how fucking dumb people who go to malls are, and these zombies are the kind of people who, they're mall walker zombies. They're a lot dumber. They're gonna be a lot fucking dumber, just by default. Yeah, I'll probably see Martin John Cole. I'll probably give that a watch soon. But yeah, this is where things get really fucking. Then again, just get away from the wall. What are you doing? But yeah, that's the big like. In a lot of zombie movies, there's a bit of cooperation, but in this movie, there's no fucking cooperation, and things really fucking fall apart. And yeah, I'm recalling certain things, like, yeah, this little girl, she, like, the zombies in this movie, yeah, they use tools. Like, they use weapons and shit. They're not, I don't think, I think in Land of the Dead, like, they sort of progressed to a certain point. Yeah, the rules of zombies weren't really there yet as far as how they are, so yeah, there's stuff like using a spade to kill a person. Yeah, this is a fucked up movie, pretty much. Like, it's pretty tame by today's standards, but fucking killing your mom and having fucking Hershey syrup spray across her fucking body, like, it's pretty fucked up, you know? It's weird to think that that's chocolate. That's the great thing about black and white movie making is that you could really just save some fucking money. You don't even have to make fucking fake blood. You can just fucking go to the store, buy like Hershey syrup for $1, and then that's it. Yeah, I think the mom sounded like a mouse when she's getting killed because they wanted to make it sound creepy, I guess, or something. There are some strange choices sound design wise, but this is a low budget movie, and I wouldn't want to change it like the 30th anniversary edition did. You know, you gotta preserve even the weird qualities of a movie that don't hold up. You gotta keep it the same. There's our Heinzman zombie, or Hinsman, or whatever the fuck his last name was. I believe he passed away recently. I think. I don't know. Yeah, this is an old enough horror movie where a lot of the cast have sadly passed on. But yeah, now he's got a safe little area though. But I think ironically the basement was the safest place to be. I think that was like the lesson. Because like he ended up surviving down there. It's just he gets fucking shot. It's a little ironic. Yeah, I mean, someone says I sound bored, but it's just because I'm running out of shit to say. I've kind of covered a lot of the shit I really was aching to say, so now I'm just kind of watching the movie. Yeah, there's some of these zombies are like I feel like they really thought out the zombies in this movie where they had like backstories. But some of these zombies are shirtless dudes. Like, how do you become a zombie like in the middle of like changing your shirt? Like, unless you're the zombie and you got like fucking, oh, your shirt got snagged on a fucking fence, and then you kept walking, and I guess maybe that explains why that one zombie didn't have a shirt. It's very weird. Like, a lot of these zombies are in various states of undress. I'm guessing, yeah, it's been a while since I saw this movie, so yeah, looks like I was right. He comes back and you gotta deal with him. Oh boy. Yeah, the gun doesn't have that impactful kind of sound effect that I'm used to. It just sounds like a cap gun. It sounds like They didn't really, do the proper level of sound design with that gun, because it just sounds like... No, she ate way too much candy bars. Now she has a tummy ache, and she's sort of sleeping it off, but I think it's shot in the head. It's not nice. I mean, apparently George Romero might have hated the ending too, because he totally fucking changed it in the remake. Like, yeah, it's a downer ending, but honestly, I like horror movies that end on downer endings, because it's a horror movie. You're not supposed to come out feeling uplifted or anything. You're not supposed to come out feeling like, oh yeah, it's a great... Oh, I feel so much better after watching that fucking horror movie, after watching people get killed for like 90 minutes. I feel so much better. It's gotta end on a downer. It's gotta end on some tiny bit of irony, you know. It's just the way it's gotta be to me. What happened to all the zombies? Are they all just chilling out in the house? House party? Again, it's been a while. I don't think I've seen this movie for a few years, actually. Probably should have watched it before doing the commentary, but, you know, I got a chat to help me out. Man, I can't imagine renting a helicopter for a film was super cheap back in the 60s. So, again, this movie was next level. They really tried. They really stretched their budget. Like, they really tried to bring this to the next level. And you gotta remember that Image 10, they were just making industrial videos that were just fucking boring videos that taught you shit. And then they decide, let's make a fucking movie, and let's make a horror movie, because, like, if you're an indie filmmaker and you want to try to make a name for yourself and make the easiest bit of money, and also make a good movie, you know, make a horror movie, you know? Horror movies are super cheap, usually, at the very least, and they're usually guaranteed, depending on if you play your budget right, and you find a good distributor, and you have decent marketing, you'll make your fucking money back. People want to watch any fucking horror movie they can.
Behind those trees, we want to go check it out.
You come here, Bill. Yeah, Chief, we're going to stay with it till we meet up with the National
Yeah,
Guard. Where'd you get the coffee?
I sort of skimmed around Cannibal Holocaust, and yeah, that movie is pretty... It's more fucked up than I fucking realized. There's, like, characters who fucking... Like, the main characters are, like, they just rape a villager for no reason, and then they fucking... And then the village, like, fucking impales that villager while she's naked and stuff, and they're, like, sort of... The main characters are, like, smiling about it, like, they're, oh, that's so cool, but then they're like, oh, that's so scary when they're actually on... It's a very strange social commentary, and it's also it's brutal as fuck. I don't know, they were doing shit in the 70s and 80s of horror movies that you cannot fucking do these days, especially in theaters. Like, the Italians really loved rape and murder. I'll just say that about horror movies back then. I don't really watch a lot of YouTube channels, honestly. I mostly just keep to myself. Watch Netflix and stuff. So, yeah, I don't really watch YouTube videos. I don't watch mine, though. That's what you're thinking. Once I finish the video, it's up. I don't even remember anything I say in the videos, so. Which means I don't really have a great sense of continuity, though, because I don't remember. I don't think I have many running jokes, because I don't fucking remember what I say in any of these videos, so Goulash has more running jokes than me. He has fucking, you fucking weirdo. I don't have anything like that. All I have is my intro, and that's it. But he has got fucking, you fucking weirdo, and I guess maybe that's the only running joke. Even then, sometimes he forgets it, so whatever. Let's just, honestly, I think I just, there was a guy, after watching this movie at least, if I was hearing gunshots, I'd just be like, I'm gonna wait until I stop hearing gunshots, and then I'll get out, because that'll mean they got rid of all the zombies, and I don't have to worry about getting shot in the fucking head, because they think I'm a zombie. Yeah, unfortunately the stream is almost over, and my voice is, it's a little hoarse. And hopefully this stream came out well, where it can have a decent lifespan after this stream. People can watch it, enjoy it afterwards, after it's live. Because it would suck if it turned out, oh yeah, you can barely hear. Oh man, that fucking sucks.
Okay, he's dead. Let's go get him.
Okay, he's dead. Let's go. It'd be so weird if it, yeah, it's an uncomfortable little thing. It's an uncomfortable little ending. Main character dies, lives to the end, but he gets shot because, for ambiguous reasons, maybe he got shot because they thought he was a zombie, they instantly assumed he was a zombie, or possibly for a racially motivated reason. They're just like, yeah, it's a downer ending, but it's provocative. And this like these stock photos too, like, it really takes things, again, it just takes things up a notch, where it feels like this is like the news, like the Time magazine reporting of fucking what happened. It's not a bad ending, it's a memorable ending. Okay, no racism. Not in the comments, okay? Not in the chat. Gotta give me a break, okay? A lot of people worked on this movie. It's a very compelling commentary over credits, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the movie holds up. And it especially holds up if you don't fucking talk over it. I think he's right next to the Bill Heinzman zombie, which is kind of funny. The first zombie right next to the main character getting burned. And they just show footage of, like, all these corpses just being burned, and, like, indiscriminately, one of them was a dude. And who knows how, and again, that's another thing, who knows how many fucking dudes who are getting burned in there were zombies at all? Like, who knows? And it ends with this weird sort of Gone with the Wind style fucking, with this weird Gone with the Wind style, like, the end. It's kind of funny. Anyway, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Might as well. Also, make sure to get some popcorn on your way out. You know, right there. And also, I don't know whose cars these are, but they're totally empty. I don't know what's up with that. Could you, if you own this blue vehicle and this other light blue vehicle next to me, could you please get them out of my fucking drive-through theater? They've been there since last night. I don't know what's going on with them. Seriously, it's a little annoying. It's a little annoying. I'm not gonna lie. But let's get back to the Wolfula and let's wind down this stream and have some little discussion. But yeah, it's sort of weird thinking about that. How many people were probably killed by these fucking rednecks who didn't give a shit whether or not you're a zombie or not? It's a scary idea that even during this zombie apocalypse, you still got to worry about the people. That's the big lesson of this film. It's the big lesson of the film. Even when there are real monsters around, humans can sometimes be the greatest monsters of them all. Isn't that really deep and wise? I hope so. But anyway, rest in peace, George Romero. Hopefully you don't come back as a zombie, because then we'll have to fucking shoot you in the head. And that's not nice. But you gave us many unforgettable films, but we'll definitely never forget your first film, which is surprising to say, right? It's so surprising, like, just the idea that you can make, your first film can be such a fucking memorable movie that is remembered all the way here in 2017. It's still relevant. And it'll like, it's pretty much going to be immortal now. That's the unfortunate thing. Well, that's the fortunate thing when someone dies, though, is that their fucking work can live on beyond their death. That's always pretty cool, you know? It doesn't matter if you're alive or you're dead. As long as you made something worth seeing, that's all that fucking matters in the end. Getting a little choked up. Well, hope you enjoyed the stream. I'll try to do more streams like this in the meantime. During the lull, I'll try to not just do video game streams. I know those can be kind of a hard pill to swallow for some people, especially since there's so much video game content available on YouTube. And you can tell my voice is really fucked up right now. I didn't take any breaks, okay? I'm just gonna say that. Man. But anyway, I'll see ya. Next time I see you, I'll try to make this a weekly thing, a weekly stream. I'll have some video game streams and some movie streams, and I'll do all kinds of variety, and I'll try to really revolutionize the channel and try to give it new life, new different ways, but I'll also make the videos you've come to expect of me, and maybe Goulash will start making videos again too. I don't know, it just seems kind of weird. It just seems really weird to have Goulash around, but I'm always going to be trying new stuff, okay? You can trust me, all right? Well, I'm going to be heading out. Time to go to the stock footage so people can sort of look at this and be like, oh no, I missed the stream. Ah, great. This sucks. Fucking, man. Thank you for watching. This fucking sucks. Well, see you later. Oh, I'm sorry. See you later. Bye. Oh, fuck, I forgot to make it fucking loop. Okay, let's fix that. Okay, now it's looping. Okay, now I'm gone. Bye. Boom! I scared you, didn't I? Ha 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 ha. Okay, bye.